The Stoics, a group of wise thinkers from long ago, believed that real strength doesn't come from beating others or changing the world around us. Instead, it's about learning to control our own feelings. This idea is especially useful today. Have you ever felt completely exhausted and unhappy after spending time with someone negative? Toxic people can mess with our minds, making us feel annoyed and helpless. But imagine if you had some helpful tools to deal with these tough situations. In this video, we'll explore 13 practical ideas inspired by the Stoics to help you handle toxic people with kindness, patience, and strength. Come along on this journey to guard your own happiness, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on building a strong mind. By the end of this video, you'll have a set of Stoic tools to handle toxic people wisely. So take a calming breath and let's get started. Number 1. The broken record technique. Imagine dealing with someone who constantly tries to control you, using sneaky arguments and emotional tricks to get their way. They might act sweet or make you feel guilty, but they're really just trying to make you do what they want. This constant pressure can be exhausting and stressful. But the Stoics, people who believed in clear thinking, focus, and strength of mind, came up with a powerful way to handle these situations. One of their simple but effective ideas is called the broken record technique. This technique is a strong yet calm way to stand up for yourself without getting pulled into someone else's game. The broken record technique is simple but very effective. Imagine you have one clear statement about what you want or need, like "I'm not going to do that" or "No, thank you." Each time the other person tries to twist your words or change your mind, you calmly repeat that same statement, just like a broken record that keeps playing the same line over and over. By doing this, you don't let their arguments or emotions pull you off track. You're not getting angry. You're not giving long explanations. You're simply holding your ground. A Stoic teacher named Epictetus believed that true freedom means having control over yourself. To him, freedom was the only good, and this includes setting limits and saying no without having to explain yourself. The broken record technique is a way of keeping that freedom by standing firm on what's important to you. People who try to control others often use strong emotions to get what they want. They might make you feel special or try to make you feel bad if you don't agree with them. Some even try to make you angry, to push you into reacting the way they want. But with the broken record technique, you can resist these tricks by sticking to a clear, calm statement of what you want. Repeating the same message again and again can actually make the manipulator feel unsure because it breaks up their plan. It's like a big rock standing steady in the middle of crashing waves. No matter how strong the waves get, the rock stays right there, steady and unmovable, until the waves eventually lose their power. Though it might sound strict, the broken record technique isn't about fighting. It's a quiet way to protect your boundaries and remind yourself and others what's important to you. Stoicism teaches us to use reason and clear thinking to face tough situations, which helps us stay peaceful and strong inside. By using the broken record technique, you're giving yourself the strength to block manipulation and keep your calm without having to argue. This quiet, steady approach keeps you in control of yourself and your peace. Number 2. Remember, it's not about you. Imagine a dark, heavy cloud hanging over you, blocking your view and filling the air with negativity. When you're around people who act toxic, it can feel like you're under that gloomy cloud, surrounded by their bad energy. These people may constantly complain, criticize, or stir up drama. Often, they're projecting their own worries, fears, and insecurities onto others, creating a poisonous atmosphere that affects everyone nearby. But Stoicism has a powerful tool to help in these situations: prosoche, or mindful attention. This tool encourages us to see ourselves as calm, wise observers, standing apart from the chaos. When we use prosoche, we become like thoughtful scientists, looking at the situation from a distance and focusing on facts instead of emotions. This lets us keep a cool head, even in the middle of others' negativity. When you have to interact with toxic people, it's especially helpful to keep this sense of calm detachment. Stoics knew that negative words and actions aren't always aimed at us personally. Often, they're just a reflection of the other person's struggles. By keeping some distance, you can handle these encounters more easily and even feel less affected by their negativity. Stoic detachment allows us to do a few things that protect our peace. Recognize projection. Toxic people often blame, complain, and put others down to distract themselves from their own inner struggles. When you use prososh, you can see this as a kind of projection. By not getting pulled into their emotional traps, you observe their behavior from a distance, like a scientist watching an experiment. This way, you start to see that their negativity has nothing to do with you. It's just a reflection of their inner world and doesn't measure your own worth at all. Practice detachment. Think of that heavy, dark cloud. When it passes overhead, it might cast a shadow for a while, but it doesn't actually change the ground or stop the sun from shining high above. In the same way, practicing detachment reminds you that other people's toxic actions or words don't define you. By briefly stepping back from the situation, you start to see that their behavior reflects their own problems, not anything about you. Just like the ground under the cloud remains unchanged, your true self isn't harmed by someone else's negativity. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." This means we have enough time to live meaningful lives if we focus on what really matters. Stoics believe that our time is valuable, so instead of getting pulled into someone else's negativity, we should protect our time and energy. By keeping a safe emotional distance, caring for ourselves and sticking to what's important, we avoid letting toxic behavior distract us. Detachment here isn't about being cold, it's about healthy boundaries. You can still feel compassion for others' struggles without getting caught up in their emotional storms. By practicing Stoic detachment, you shift from being a passive target to a calm, centered observer. You're protecting your peace and emotional well-being, allowing yourself to respond with wisdom and strength instead of being pulled into turmoil. And remember, above those clouds of negativity, the sun is still shining brightly, reminding you that peace and calm are always within reach. Number 3, build your support system. Imagine yourself as a steadfast guard standing at the gate of your inner fortress, or citadel, watching carefully for any threats to your peace. You've built strong walls with boundaries, learned to stay calm without reacting to every challenge, and you've even reduced time around toxic people who drain your energy. But even the strongest guard needs support to keep the peace. This is where your Stoic phalanx, a group of trustworthy friends and allies, comes in. These people are like the soldiers protecting your flank, providing crucial support so you don't face negativity alone. The Stoics, especially the philosopher Seneca, emphasized how important it is to live in harmony with nature and to surround yourself with good people who support and inspire you. When you're in tough situations, this network of trusted friends and family can become your rock. They're the ones who listen to you without judgment, offer wise advice, and give you the encouragement you need. They help remind you of your strengths, gently steering you back to your center when you feel shaken. This circle of support is like a powerful safety net, holding you up and helping you stay balanced even during difficult times. A strong support system. Your support system acts as a barrier between you and the stress caused by toxic people. Dealing with negativity can drain your energy, so having a safe place to share your thoughts and feelings is essential. When you can talk openly with trusted friends or family, it's like having a calm, secure space to let out your frustrations and process what's happening. Their compassion and understanding remind you that you're not facing challenges alone. These people believe in you, and their belief strengthens your sense of self-worth, especially when you're dealing with people who try to undermine your confidence. It's as if they're constantly recharging your inner flame, helping it burn brightly, even when negativity threatens to put it out. Setting a positive example. The Stoics believe that the people around us shape us, so they encourage surrounding ourselves with individuals who have qualities we admire. When you're close to people who embody the virtues you value, like kindness, resilience, and optimism, you learn from their examples. By watching how they handle their challenges, you're inspired to approach your own with similar grace. This network of strong, positive role models helps you build your own resilience and handle difficult situations with greater calmness. Building a strong support network doesn't happen overnight, but it's a journey worth taking. Start by strengthening existing relationships and seeking out people who share your values. Here are some ways to build your phalanx. Invest in quality time. Spend meaningful time with people who support you. Sharing experiences, listening, and talking openly helps you build closer bonds with those who care about you. Join like-minded communities. Look for clubs, volunteer organizations, or online groups that align with your interests and values. These can be great places to meet people who might become part of your support system. And don't forget the power of gratitude. Take a moment to thank the people who support you. Let them know how much their kindness and steady presence mean to you. This simple act of appreciation strengthens your bond with them, reminding you both of the positive impact they have in your life. By creating and nurturing your Stoic phalanx, you build a protective shield that guards against negativity and boosts your inner strength. Even the strongest fortress benefits from allies. Your trusted companions form an unbreakable phalanx around you, helping you keep your inner peace secure. With this network of positive influences, you gain strength, perspective, and a renewed sense of optimism, creating a truly fortified inner citadel. Number 4. Fortify your walls. Imagine yourself as Marcus Aurelius, the wise and steady emperor of Rome, known for his Stoic philosophy and inner strength. Ruling a vast empire took unbreakable resolve, deep wisdom, and the ability to maintain order even when chaos threatened. This same power and clarity are crucial when building the walls of your inner citadel, your emotional well-being. Boundaries are the foundation of this inner fortress, a protective barrier that keeps harmful influences at bay and allows you to maintain peace within. Boundaries are like the borders of an empire. They are clear lines marking acceptable and unacceptable behavior. When dealing with toxic people, these boundaries are essential. Just as a powerful emperor would never let invaders storm his gates, you shouldn't allow negative or manipulative people to cross into your emotional space. The Stoics taught that reason and self-control are the keys to true strength. To begin setting boundaries, take an honest look at what drains your energy and threatens your peace. Is it a friend who always seems to be surrounded by drama? A coworker who uses manipulation to get what they want? Or maybe it's a family member who insists on giving you unasked for advice. Start by being truthful with yourself about what you can't accept in your life. Once you've identified these boundaries, communicate them clearly as Marcus Aurelius would. Calm, wise, and unwavering. Here are some tips for doing this effectively. Use I statements. Instead of saying, "You're always so negative," try framing it as, "I feel drained when there's constant negativity around me." This way, you're expressing your feelings without making the other person feel attacked. Be specific. Vague requests often lead to misunderstandings. Instead of saying, "I need some space," you could say, "I can't talk right now, but I'd be happy to chat later this week." Specificity helps the other person understand exactly what you need. Stay assertive, not aggressive. Aim to be confident without sounding confrontational. Express your needs with calm strength, just like a wise ruler, keeping your tone steady and respectful. Setting boundaries isn't a one-time task. It's an ongoing commitment. Think of it like a watchful ruler constantly guarding his borders to prevent invasions. If a toxic person pushes past your boundaries, calmly remind them of your limits. If they continue to ignore your wishes, you may need to reduce interactions with them or even step away entirely. Setting boundaries is not about punishing others. It's about respecting and protecting yourself. The Stoics actively worked to avoid envy and other emotions that feed toxic behavior, and boundaries were their defense against this. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's essential for protecting your emotional health and preserving your inner peace. A strong, fortified inner citadel with clear and well-defended boundaries is a cornerstone of the Stoic path. It creates a peaceful, resilient space where you can focus on what truly matters, undisturbed by negativity or chaos from the outside. Number 5. Don't take the bait. Imagine someone like a skilled angler casting a fishing line, trying to lure you into a trap with bait made of negative thoughts. They throw out provocative comments, small insults, or subtle guilt trips, hoping you'll bite and fall into their whirlpool of drama. Many toxic people use these tactics to pull others into their emotional storms. But Stoic philosophy has a powerful defense for this situation: indifference. This doesn't mean you stop caring about things. Instead, it means you practice staying emotionally detached when negativity comes your way. The Stoics, especially the philosopher Epictetus, made a careful distinction between apathy and indifference. Apathy is a state where you're numb, with no concern for anything. Indifference, on the other hand, is when you actively choose to disconnect from the negative judgments and emotions that cloud clear thinking. Understanding this difference is key when dealing with toxic people. Here's how Stoic indifference can help you avoid taking the bait and getting pulled into someone else's drama. Be aware of the strategy. The first step is to recognize when someone is using these tactics on you. Toxic people often try to lure you in with specific bait. It could be a sarcastic comment, an underhanded insult, or even a guilt trip disguised as friendly advice. By noticing these strategies, you take away a lot of their power. These people want a reaction, something that shows you're annoyed, hurt, or defensive. But with indifference, you keep yourself from getting hooked. Practicing Stoic indifference lets you avoid getting tangled in their negativity, because you've chosen to stay calm and unbothered, no matter how tempting the bait might seem. Imagine a scenario where you choose not to take the bait. You observe the provocation with calm detachment, refusing to let it stir up any anger or frustration in you. By not reacting to their negativity, you strip their comments of power. The insults or manipulative comments they throw your way lose their effect without a reaction to fuel the drama. Their words may hang in the air for a moment, but without any response from you, they lose their sting and the drama fizzles out. Practice true Stoic indifference. Practicing indifference doesn't mean you become cold or uncaring. Stoicism actually encourages positive emotions, joy, kindness, patience, while focusing on letting go of negative emotions that drain you and distract you from what really matters. Stoic indifference allows you to separate yourself from harmful emotions you can't control. It gives you the freedom to focus on what you can control: your reactions, your thoughts, and your actions. By choosing indifference, you refuse to be a player in their drama. Instead, you become a calm observer, watching from a distance while preserving your inner peace. With Stoic indifference, your calm inner world remains untouched, like a safe and quiet island in a stormy sea. You show that you won't be drawn into anyone else's emotional chaos. Toxic people may try to stir things up, but your peaceful mind, protected by indifference, becomes a place they can't reach. Your serenity remains your own, a true refuge from the turmoil others might try to create. And if you're enjoying the content, consider becoming a member of the channel. In addition to helping the channel, you also have exclusive content. Click on the link in the description and become a member right now. Returning to the content. Number 6. Forgive yourself. Imagine you're about to set off on a long, challenging journey, but there's a heavy bag slung over your shoulder, filled with resentment, anger, and bitterness toward a toxic person. This burden weighs you down, makes each step harder, and drains your energy. According to Stoic philosophy, forgiveness is about putting down this emotional baggage, not for the other person, but for your own peace of mind. The Stoics believe that accepting things beyond our control is essential to a balanced life, and other people's actions, no matter how harmful, are always beyond our control. When you carry resentment towards someone who's harmed you, it's like willingly keeping a poison close to you. This negativity affects your present, casting a shadow over your experiences and making it difficult to feel joy. Stoic wisdom can guide you through forgiving yourself and letting go of negativity in a way that feels natural and deeply freeing. Focus on your inner landscape. The Stoics taught that true strength comes from managing your thoughts and actions, not controlling what others do or what happens around you. To reclaim a calm and steady mind, you must start by forgiving yourself. Let go of self-blame and give yourself permission to release the grudge, like dropping a weight from your bag. Forgiveness isn't about pretending that the toxic person's actions were okay. Instead, it's about acknowledging what happened, accepting that it's out of your control, and choosing to move forward with a lighter heart. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this and you will find strength." By forgiving, you're taking back this power, making space for peace and well-being. Break free from the cycle of negativity. Holding on to resentment is like staying trapped in a cage you've built yourself. Every time you dwell on anger, the toxic person continues to influence your life, even if they're no longer around. Forgiving yourself breaks this cycle, unlocking the door and allowing you to step forward unburdened. Letting go of resentment doesn't happen instantly, though. Here are some steps to help nurture forgiveness. Recognize your feelings. Begin by acknowledging the anger, hurt, or bitterness you're carrying. Pushing these feelings down only slows down your healing. Be honest about what you feel and why. Practice self-compassion. Imagine how you would treat a friend in your shoes, with understanding and kindness. Recognize that you've been hurt by both the other person's negativity and your own reactions to it. Show yourself the same empathy you'd offer a close friend. Shift your perspective. Try looking at the situation with fresh eyes. Was the toxic person acting intentionally, or were they dealing with their own challenges? Sometimes, changing your viewpoint can foster understanding and open the door to forgiveness. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself. By letting go of the weight of anger and bitterness, you free up space in your heart for healing, growth, and positive experiences. Picture yourself on your journey again, your backpack lighter, your steps easier, and your spirit ready to embrace life's next adventures with strength and peace. When you forgive, you're not only moving on, you're making room for a fuller, more joyful life, unburdened by the negativity of the past. Number 7. Become uninteresting to the emotional barbarian. Imagine a fierce emotional warrior, a person driven by constant negativity and always on the hunt for drama. This type of toxic individual thrives on conflict, searching for ways to stir up trouble and get reactions from those around them. They feed off attention and seem to enjoy making others feel hurt or frustrated. Each insult or rude comment is like a poke, hoping to make you respond with anger or sadness. The Stoic approach to life, focused on emotional calm and indifference to things outside our control, inspired a powerful tool to handle these kinds of people: the gray rock method. Therapist Paul Friedman introduced the gray rock method as a way to stay neutral when faced with toxic people. Instead of showing intense emotions, you become like a steady, unremarkable gray rock, calm, smooth, and impossible to grip. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means showing no reaction to negativity, giving toxic people no attention to latch onto. Seneca, a famous Roman Stoic, taught that true happiness comes from finding peace in the present moment without anxiety over the future. The gray rock method reminds us that we don't need to depend on attention or approval from others, especially those who try to tear us down. When toxic people try to provoke you, your neutral, calm reactions make you as uninteresting as a plain stone, leaving them without the emotional fuel they're looking for. Using the gray rock method means answering provocations with neutral, straightforward responses. Instead of getting pulled into arguments or defending yourself, keep your answers short and factual. Imagine a toxic friend criticizes your work or mocks your choices. Instead of arguing or getting defensive, you could simply say, "That's interesting," and leave it at that. Toxic individuals try to control your emotions, using sarcasm, guilt, or even anger to get a reaction. But when you stay calm, unbothered, and stick to simple statements, you stay out of the emotional storm they're trying to create. Seneca reminds us that true happiness is staying balanced, free from being driven by hopes or fears. Toxic people can only influence you if you let them by giving them emotional control. The gray rock method helps you protect your peace by staying disengaged from their negativity. At times, toxic individuals may push harder, testing your calm exterior to see if they can get a reaction. But by staying consistent and remembering you're not responsible for their behavior, you can become an observer rather than a participant in their drama. Applying this Stoic-inspired method helps you protect your inner peace, turning you into a solid, unmoved presence in the face of their emotional turbulence. But there is a catch. If you've been trying for a long time to get out of conformity and ignorance, and you can't do it in any way, maybe it's for other reasons that you don't know what's causing this. But I know what it is. It's anxiety. Anxiety comes like a silent snake and poisons you without you feeling it. This leaves you infected for days, months, and even years, and if you have that, it would be like living sick. However, there is an antidote from the Stoics which, together with modern psychology, can free you from all this just as it freed me. I made a video showing how you can get rid of this poison in your life, It's in the first comment. Click on the link in the first comment and cure yourself of this poison of anxiety. Number 8. The art of the non-reaction. Imagine someone as a verbal gladiator, stepping into the ring with words sharp as swords. Their favorite battleground is a heated argument, where insults and quick jabs give them a thrill, and they thrive on provoking anger, humiliation, or any reaction that pulls you into their emotional chaos. These individuals see conflict as their domain, using every exchange to establish power or feed on the energy of a quarrel. But Stoic philosophy offers a strategy that's both subtle and powerful: the art of non-reaction, the deliberate choice to stay silent and unfazed in the face of their verbal attacks. When practiced purposefully, silence becomes a powerful tool that shifts the balance. Remaining quiet takes discipline, as the natural response might be to defend yourself, counterattack, or win the argument. Yet Stoicism emphasizes that true strength lies in mastering our reactions, and stillness amid conflict signals a higher level of control. Instead of falling into their trap, a quiet, calm response, or lack of one, can diffuse the situation without saying a word. To understand how silence can be so powerful, let's turn to the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor known for his calm in even the most challenging of situations. Stopping the toxic dance. Toxic people often operate in a predictable pattern, throwing out negative words with the expectation that you'll react. When you respond with anger, hurt, or defensiveness, you unknowingly give them fuel to continue. Non-reaction breaks this toxic rhythm. By choosing not to respond, you deny them the satisfaction they seek. Imagine a tennis player swinging with all their might at an opponent who simply stands still, not even attempting a return. The powerful serve lands flat, with no rally to keep it going. Silence, then, is not emptiness, but a message in itself. It says you are in control and you refuse to get pulled into their drama. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." By choosing silence, you embody Stoic values. Instead of arguing, you live the principles, calm, rational, and unshaken by the provocations of others. You stop the dance they're attempting to lead, holding on to your peace even when they try to pull you into their negativity. Preparing for escalation. Using non-reaction strategically means preparing for their next move, as toxic individuals may escalate their behavior if their first attempts to provoke fail. When they realize you aren't taking the bait, they might amplify their insults, hoping for some response. However, your silence does not mean weakness. In fact, it's the tool of those with genuine inner strength. By remaining calm and silent, you show that they don't have control over your emotions. This doesn't mean silence is the answer for every situation, but it's a valuable tool in your Stoic approach, ready to use when needed. Through non-reaction, you make a powerful choice to not engage, to not let their words or insults disturb your peace. In choosing silence, you also make a statement. You're opting out of their game entirely. Number 9. Identifying and understanding the toxic threat. Take a moment to picture yourself standing tall as the guard at the grand entrance to your very own personal citadel. This fortress symbolizes your inner peace, physical health, and emotional safety. It's a stronghold built to protect everything that is important to you. Just as a vigilant guard keeps watch for any signs of trouble, you must remain aware and alert to the potential threats posed by toxic individuals. This awareness is the first line of defense, allowing you to notice when negativity is creeping closer. Epictetus, a wise Stoic philosopher, shared an important insight in his teachings. He emphasized that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but rather our judgments about those events. This means that when you encounter toxic people, their negative words and manipulative behaviors do not hold the power to upset you unless you allow them to. It's your emotional reactions and how you perceive these actions that ultimately shape your inner peace. So as the guard of your citadel, your focus should be on managing your responses and maintaining control over your emotions. Cultivating a Stoic gaze. To successfully protect your fortress, you need to develop a Stoic gaze, a calm and objective way of looking at situations without getting swept away by emotions. This perspective helps you recognize the warning signs of toxic behavior so that you can respond wisely. Here are some common indicators to keep an eye out for. Constant criticism. A toxic person may continually find fault with you, nitpicking your choices and actions. Their remarks, whether subtle jabs or overt insults, can chip away at your self-esteem, leaving you feeling unsure of your abilities and second-guessing yourself. Manipulative tactics. Watch out for those who use clever tricks to get their way. They may shower you with compliments one moment, and then try to guilt you into doing what they want the next. They might even threaten to withdraw their affection or support if you don't comply. Negativity. Some toxic individuals thrive on negativity, constantly complaining or focusing on what's wrong with everything. Their pessimism can be infectious, dragging you down and creating a dark cloud that hovers over your interactions. In addition to these general warning signs, there are specific toxic personality types to be aware of. The narcissist. At first, this person may appear charming and captivating, always seeking your admiration and approval. However, interactions with them can feel exhausting, as they often leave you feeling emotionally drained after one-sided conversations focused only on their needs. The gossip. This person delights in spreading rumors and stirring up trouble among friends or colleagues. They create division and tension, and being around them can make you wary of what others might say about you behind your back. The energy vampire. As their name suggests, this person leaves you feeling mentally and emotionally drained after you interact with them. Their constant need for attention and support can be overwhelming, making you feel depleted and worn out. By familiarizing yourself with these toxic behaviors and personality types, you create a mental map that guides you in navigating your interactions. Just like a Roman Stoic philosopher devising strategies on the battlefield, this awareness helps you anticipate harmful tactics. With this knowledge, you can strengthen the walls of your emotional citadel and protect your well-being, ensuring that your inner peace remains intact. Remember, as the guardian of your fortress, your focus should be on maintaining clarity and calmness, allowing you to stand strong against any potential threats that come your way. Number 10. Don't try to fix them. The desire to mend, to heal, and to take on the role of a therapist can be a strong pull, especially when you care deeply about someone whose behaviors are harmful. You might feel an instinctive urge to jump in, to help them change, and to support them in overcoming their struggles. However, in the realm of Stoicism, this well-meaning path often leads to frustration and can quickly drain your emotional energy. Trying to cultivate change in someone who is toxic is much like attempting to nurture delicate plants that are choked by stubborn weeds. It requires their willingness to grow and effort to change. Unfortunately, this transformation cannot be forced or rushed. Focus on what you can control. In Stoicism, one of the central tenets is to focus on what you can control, your own responses and interactions, rather than attempting to change someone else. The responsibility for a toxic person's actions lies solely with them. They must make the conscious decision to confront their negative emotions and strive for personal growth. When you take on the burden of trying to fix their issues, it creates an unhealthy dynamic. You might find yourself feeling overwhelmed, and in the process, you inadvertently prevent them from owning their problems and working toward their own solutions. Accepting what you cannot change. Acceptance is a powerful Stoic principle, especially when it comes to understanding what lies beyond your control, such as the actions of others and the unpredictability of life. A toxic person's negativity is a prime example of something you cannot change. When you accept this fact, you free yourself from the exhausting effort of trying to reshape their behavior. Instead of wasting your time and emotional reserves on things you cannot control, you can redirect your energy toward what truly matters, your own peace of mind and well-being. Your inner peace as a blooming garden. Imagine your inner peace as a vibrant garden that you have nurtured and cultivated with care. Every positive thought, kind interaction, and moment of self-reflection adds to the beauty of this space. In contrast, toxic people and their negativity are like weeds threatening to smother the growth you've worked so hard to create. Trying to uproot these weeds in someone else's garden takes away from your own time and energy. Instead, focus on your garden, cultivate positive relationships, nurture your virtues, and prioritize self-care. While Stoicism values helping others achieve virtue, There are limited ways to encourage a toxic individual to engage in self-reflection. Instead of trying to dictate their path to change, you can offer resources that might spark their introspection. Perhaps suggest a book on effective communication, recommend a therapist who specializes in emotional healing, or gently encourage them to think about the impact of their actions on others. These suggestions can plant seeds of awareness without imposing your perspective. Lead by example. You can make the most significant impact on others by embodying Stoic principles yourself, leading by example. By maintaining a calm demeanor, responding thoughtfully and focusing on your own virtue, you become a shining beacon of Stoic wisdom. Sometimes, despite your best intentions, a toxic person remains entrenched in their negativity. In these cases, it's important to recognize when it's time to distance yourself. Stoicism encourages setting boundaries and, if necessary, withdrawing from the situation to protect your own well-being. Remember, while you cannot control their journey, you have the power to choose your own path. Transforming from fixer to facilitator. By internalizing these Stoic principles, you can transform from a frustrated fixer to a supportive facilitator. You can offer encouragement without sacrificing your own well-being. This shift allows your own garden to flourish despite the weeds that may grow elsewhere. Embrace the role of a steady presence, and by focusing on your own growth, you can inspire others simply by living out the values you hold dear. In doing so, you create an environment where both you and those around you can thrive, even when faced with challenges. Your inner peace becomes a sanctuary that remains vibrant, regardless of external negativity, allowing you to flourish while still offering a hand to those who seek support. Number 11. Prioritize self-care. Engaging with toxic individuals can feel like battling an unrelenting foe on a stormy battlefield. Each interaction drains your emotional energy, leaving you feeling weary and depleted. It's crucial to protect yourself from this onslaught, and that's where self-care comes into play. Think of it as what a Stoic warrior would do after a tough fight, tending to wounds, recharging, and sharpening their blade for the next battle. Self-care should be a fundamental part of your Stoic way of life. It's not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Incorporate self-care into your daily routine as an investment in your mental well-being. Make it a priority, just like you would other vital tasks, and schedule time for it in your day. Self-care approaches to replenish your emotional reserves. Here are some self-care strategies that can help replenish your emotional reserves and build your resilience against negativity. Engage in joyful activities. Identify activities that bring you true joy and relaxation. This could be anything from going for a brisk run, practicing yoga, or losing yourself in a good book, to creative outlets like painting, writing, or playing an instrument. Engaging in these activities allows you to de-stress and recharge your spirit. Just like a battery needs to be recharged, your emotional energy needs time to rejuvenate. These joyful pursuits will help you return to the world with renewed energy and a fresh perspective, making you better equipped to face the challenges that come your way. Practice meditation. Meditation is a powerful practice that aligns beautifully with Stoic ideals. By taking a few moments each day to meditate, you can calm your mind and disengage from negative thoughts. It's a way to create a peaceful oasis within yourself where you can reflect and regain your center. Think of meditation as your mental armor, protecting you from the stress and negativity around you. As you make meditation a regular part of your self-care routine, you'll find it easier to handle the ups and downs of life, especially when faced with toxic individuals. Seek solace in nature. The Stoics valued living in harmony with nature, and for good reason. Spending time outdoors, whether it's a leisurely walk in a park, a hike through a forest, or simply sitting in your backyard, can do wonders for your well-being. Nature has a unique way of helping us unwind and rejuvenate. The sights and sounds of the natural world can relieve stress and improve your mood, providing a refreshing perspective that counters the negativity from toxic people. Imagine the gentle rustling of leaves or the calming sound of waves lapping at the shore. These moments in nature can fill your spirit with peace, preventive maintenance for your emotional well-being. Think of self-care as preventive maintenance for your emotional well-being. Just like a well-maintained car runs smoothly, A well-rested and centered person is better equipped to handle negative emotions. A Stoic warrior ensures their armor is strong and their blade is sharp. You can cultivate your emotional resilience through self-care. Listen to your body. It often sends you signals when it's time to slow down. Pay attention to signs of exhaustion, tension, or emotional depletion. Don't wait until you feel completely drained before prioritizing self-care. Incorporate healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and regular breaks into your day. These simple habits lay the foundation for a strong emotional fortress. Setting boundaries for self-care. Just as it's essential to set boundaries with toxic individuals, it's equally important to establish boundaries around your self-care time. Learn to say no to requests that infringe on your relaxation time. Protect your moments of joy and renewal. Whether it's setting aside a specific time each day for a calming activity or designating weekends for self-care, make sure these times are respected. Remember, putting your well-being first is not selfish. It's crucial for maintaining your emotional resilience. By incorporating self-care into your Stoic lifestyle, you become a stronger, more balanced person. Like a Stoic warrior prepared to face any foe, you will tackle challenges with a clearer perspective and greater emotional strength. With your emotional battery fully charged, you'll be better equipped to deflect negativity and radiate positivity, creating a strong shield against the toxic influences in your life. Ultimately, self-care empowers you to face the world with confidence, ensuring that you remain a resilient force even in the face of adversity. Number 12. When to walk away. Imagine yourself seeking refuge within the tranquil walls of your very own Stoic castle. This castle represents the peace you've built through emotional detachment, self-care, and strong personal boundaries. Inside, you've nurtured a healthy inner garden filled with vibrant thoughts and feelings that support your well-being. Yet, despite your best efforts, a toxic individual's negativity continues to breach your defenses, like a relentless storm battering the walls. Recognizing when to walk away is a core tenet of Stoic philosophy, a vital skill that helps protect the sanctuary you've worked so hard to cultivate. The challenge of leaving toxic relationships. Making the choice to leave a toxic relationship can feel like facing a daunting challenge, especially when that person is a close family member or a co-worker. The emotional ties can make it incredibly difficult to step back, even when you know it's necessary. However, prioritizing your mental health is crucial. Stoics believe in living a life aligned with moral principles and rational actions. If a relationship undermines your inner peace, it contradicts these values. In such cases, it is not only wise, but also consistent with Stoic philosophy, to remove yourself from harmful situations, like a wise ruler defending their castle. Safeguarding your Stoic sanctuary. Your inner tranquility is a sacred space, a refuge cultivated through mindfulness and Stoic practices. Think of it as a beautiful garden that flourishes with care. A toxic person's unrelenting negativity is like an invading army trying to breach your fortress, threatening to destroy everything you've nurtured. By stepping away from the situation, you are not only protecting your emotional well-being, but also securing your sanctuary. This act is an essential part of your self-care, a way to ensure that your inner garden continues to thrive without the choking weeds of negativity. Focus on what truly matters. Seneca, a great Stoic philosopher, beautifully captures this sentiment when he says, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." This reminder encourages you to focus on what truly matters in life. Staying in an unhealthy relationship is like watching precious time slip away through your fingers. By moving away from what holds you back, you open yourself up to positive connections, meaningful pursuits and experiences that nourish your spirit. You deserve to live a life filled with joy, growth, and fulfillment, not one shadowed by negativity. Acceptance and detachment. Stoicism teaches us to accept what lies beyond our control, and the behaviors of others fall squarely into that category. In this context, detachment becomes essential. Choosing to walk away from a toxic relationship does not signify weakness or failure. Rather, it reflects acceptance of an unchangeable situation and a conscious decision to let go of negative emotions. It's important to understand that you aren't giving up on the person. You're giving up on the toxic dynamic that harms both your mind and body. Your decision to protect your inner peace is a brave act of self-love. Thoughtful consideration. Before moving on from a toxic relationship shouldn't be a hasty decision made in the heat of the moment. It's wise to consider some important questions. Have you tried all other options? Have you communicated your feelings clearly, set boundaries, and offered resources for improvement? Is there a consistent pattern of negativity, or was it an isolated incident? Does this relationship significantly affect your overall well-being? Taking the time to reflect on these questions can help you make a more informed and thoughtful choice. Gradual withdrawal. Walking away from a toxic relationship doesn't need to be a dramatic affair filled with confrontations or emotional upheaval. It can be a gradual process, allowing you to ease out of the toxic dynamic gently. You might start by reducing contact, politely declining invitations, or limiting communication. Each small step you take is a stoic act of preserving your inner calm and practicing self-care. Remember, prioritizing your well-being creates space for positive relationships and experiences that align with your values. This allows your life to be guided by reason, virtue, and peace, much like a well-governed castle thriving amid the storms outside. By recognizing when to walk away, you reclaim your strength and empower yourself to seek connections that uplift and inspire you. Your stoic castle stands strong against the elements, a testament to your resilience and commitment to nurturing your inner peace. Number 13. Limit your exposure. Imagine yourself inside your walled citadel, a fortress where your mental health is carefully guarded by strong protective boundaries. The walls of your citadel are sturdy and tall, representing the effort you've put into creating a safe space for yourself. However, even the mightiest walls cannot completely shield you from external dangers. Toxic individuals are like persistent intruders, constantly trying to find a way to breach your defenses. This is where the Stoic idea of controlling what you can control becomes crucial. While you may not be able to dictate the actions of toxic people, you have complete control over how much time you spend with them. One of your first lines of defense in this strategy is to reduce interactions with toxic individuals whenever possible. Establishing physical distance. Think about establishing physical distance as a tactical maneuver. If it's feasible, consider completely avoiding certain individuals who drain your energy and threaten your peace. For instance, you might reschedule a lunch meeting with a negative colleague or politely excuse yourself from discussions that tend to veer into toxic territory. Remember, this isn't about being impolite or unfriendly. It's about self-preservation. Just as a wise Stoic leader would avoid sending their forces into an unnecessary conflict, you should also refrain from exposing yourself to negativity that isn't essential. Protecting your mental well-being is a noble endeavor. Emotional distance. When avoidance isn't possible. However, it's not always possible to entirely avoid certain individuals. Toxic people can be family members, co-workers, or even friends you care about. In these cases, establishing emotional distance becomes necessary. This doesn't mean you stop caring for them. Instead, it's about finding a way to engage without letting their negativity seep into your soul. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, teaches us that happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one another. This quote highlights the importance of mental detachment. It's about observing someone's behavior without becoming emotionally entangled in it. Exercising mental detachment. To exercise mental detachment, practice observing their behavior impartially. Instead of reacting to their negativity, take a step back and view their actions without emotional investment. Toxic individuals often try to manipulate your feelings through their pessimism. Here's where a technique called cognitive reframing comes into play, influenced by Stoic ideas. For instance, if a coworker is constantly complaining about work, try to reframe it as they seem to be having a tough day, rather than allowing their negativity to bring you down. By shifting your perspective, you create a buffer between their emotional state and your own. Focusing on the positive, don't give toxic individuals the power to rob you of your happiness. Instead, focus on the good aspects of your life, your interests, meaningful work, and the supportive friends who uplift you. These positive factors serve as your emotional safe haven, a refuge where you can retreat from the negativity they bring. Remember, limiting your exposure to toxic influences, both physically and emotionally, isn't an act of cowardice. It's a courageous and necessary step in protecting your peace and practicing self-care. Stoics emphasize the importance of leading a moral life and acting rationally. By consciously reducing your exposure to negative people and situations, you create the space to nurture a positive, flourishing inner life. Creating your moat of protection. Visualize your fortress surrounded by a wide moat, serving as both a physical and emotional barrier. This moat protects your peace, keeping out the encroaching negativity of toxic people. By establishing boundaries and prioritizing your mental health, you create an environment where you can thrive. Remember, you have the power to choose who enters your citadel and who remains outside. Nurturing your emotional landscape is not only a form of self-care, it is an essential practice for living a fulfilled and meaningful life. In this way, your citadel becomes not just a place of safety, but a thriving home for joy, resilience, and positivity, fortified against the intrusions of negativity. By applying these 13 methods inspired by Stoic philosophy, you can transform yourself from a passive victim of toxic people into a resilient guardian of your inner peace. Remember, a life free from negativity is a life worth fighting for.